Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to sew up the last week of the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Simply Summer Sew Along the Table Runner. I'm so excited to get this done. I love this fabric so much and the blocks turned out really cute. So today is going to be a really fast sew up. The finish is going to be nice and easy and we're going to get this done really quickly and probably can have it all done today, including the quilting and the binding. Now I'm not going to quilt it or bind it here, but if you sit down and work on this today, you could probably finish it in just a couple hours. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew our blocks together. I've got my blocks on the wall behind me, and hopefully you can see, I'm not sure if you can in the video, but I've got the strips that go between the blocks up there in between them, not sewn together yet. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is sew those together. So I've sewn all my blocks together with the 10.5 strips, 10.5 inch strips by 1.5 inch strips in between each block and at each end. So as you can see, there's one on that end and one on this end. So sew all of that together first. Then we're going to add our inner border and our outer border. So your inner border is your 34.5 inch, I believe that's what it is. Yes, strip, and then you're going to add your 34.5 inch printed fabric strip. Now you can add them one at a time, or you could sew these two together and then add them all as one piece. I'm going to sew one at a time just to show you guys, but you definitely can do it the other way if you'd like to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to add my white strip here. Now I think I might have cut mine a little bit too long, because when I put this one on, I had to cut it down a little bit. So I'm going to attach it first and then trim it down. The print I know I cut, but I think what I did is when I cut these out, I was at the end of my cutting because I always do the background fabric last. And I remember I set these aside to go back and cut later, and I think I forgot to go back and cut them. So yeah, so you'll see me trim those down, but you probably won't have to as long as you cut them to the size of the pattern. So, because this print one fit correctly, so it's not because I didn't sew this, like the stuff didn't end up too small, I just didn't cut them correctly. Okay. This is so pretty. Just love it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, mine's a little bit too long. That's my fault. I didn't cut it right when we cut all the fabric. So I'm just going to turn it over, grab my ruler and my rotary cutter. I'm just going to make sure I line this up really good here and then trim this away. Then we'll give this a press, and then we'll put on the outer border, and then we'll do the sides. Okay, there's that. Threads all over my ironing board. Okay, give this a press. A couple of you asked me what this was in the last video. This is the Acorn Easy Press Precision Piecing Pen. It's a very long name for what I lovingly call magic juice. It contains a starch alternative concentrate that you apply just on the seams, directly to the seams, like I'm putting it right on where my thread is, my sew line. and it makes your seams really nice and flat. So I really like to quilt with it. It makes everything come out the way I want to. So I will probably get asked that question again if you see this video, so I thought I would mention that. So you apply it to the seams and then you iron, and you iron till it's dry. Doesn't take long. It dries fairly quickly. Okay, that is all pressed. Now we're going to add the last border here. Let me find it. Here we go. I'm going to add this print border to the top here. So let's do that. Put that out of the way. And when I do borders, I do backstitch. That's just the long armor in me, because I'm a long arm quilter. And that's where I see a lot of seams come apart when I put them on the long arm, when I'm quilting for other folks. So I always backstitch my borders. Okay, so that's it for that, and I just realized I cut this one a little bit too long as well. That's my fault. I don't know what I was doing when I must have, they're off by 1/2 inch, so I must have gone to the whole number instead of the they were supposed to be 34.5 and they're 35. So I must have gone to the whole number instead of the half number when I cut them originally. Oh well, that's okay. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give this a press and then we'll do the sides. And the sides we're going to have to sew some pieces together before we can actually put the sides on our top. So I've pressed both the borders out. The other one was already done. We're going to take these pieces now to make the end, and the end is going to look like this. I did one end and added it and pressed it. So you're going to need to do a small blue square, the floral rectangle, blue rectangle, floral, and then blue again. And you're going to make 2 of those, one for each end of this. So that end is done. This end needs to be done. And so I'm going to lay these out to make sure I don't make a mistake and sew them in the wrong order. So there we go. All right, so I'm just going to start one at a time adding these together or sewing these together, and then after I sew them all together, we'll press it and then add it to the table runner, and then the table runner will be done. This is the last bit. And I pressed these out, so I think I'm going to press the these in. So like this will be right here. So I'm going to press that in so these seams right here will nest. The only seams you have to nest is that one and that one. So those are the only ones that I think are important as far as which way you press it. It'll just make it easier to line up. Okay, I'm just going to add this blue here. Fabrics are so pretty. I know I keep saying that, but they're gorgeous. The Simply Spring quilt from last year was really pretty. Same fabric designer from Moda. And I feel like this one this year is even prettier. So, time to change my needle after this project. Got a skip stitch there. That was the first one, and usually when that happens it's time to change the needle. So good thing I'm almost done with this project because then I can change it. Okay, one more seam. No skip stitches on that one. Good. Okay. So yeah, definitely time to change the needle though. That's kind of a good rule of thumb after you've done a project, is to change your needle. Although that's kind of hard to judge sometimes, because if you're anything like me, you have more than one project going at the same time. And so you might not finish one for a while, right? So the other rule is if your needle starts making some noise as it's going through the fabric, or if you get like a larger stitch or a skip stitch that you're not expecting, then your needle's probably starting to go. So I sew a whole lot, but I sew a lot of different things. I have a lot of block of the months going on, some sew alongs going on, so I don't always keep track of how long it's been on my needle. But since I got that little skip stitch, it's definitely time to change it. Nope. Pressed that the wrong way. It's okay. Go back and fix that. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and join this all together. So if you pressed these in opposite directions, these in, that out, or whichever way, if you did that in, do these out, they should nest up really well here and down here. We'll sew this all together and we'll be done. And don't forget to back stitch since you're putting a border on. You don't have to, but that's just a recommendation, and I like to. Do you guys get excited when you're down to like your last seam on a project? I am so excited right now. checking the stitches. No skip stitches. Good. Okay. All right. So that's it. Last seam. Oh, so pretty. All right. So I'm going to give this a press and then I'll show you my final reveal, I guess. Well, thank you so much for joining me for another fun sew along from Fort Worth Fabric Studio. This Simply Summer table runner is just gorgeous. Here it is all done. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to get it quilted and bound. This is the binding fabric, if you remember, and I just love a stripe binding, so that's going to be so pretty. And then this is the backing fabric that I have. And I've got the blue with all the rainbowy flowers, so it's just, I just love it. This is gorgeous. I am so excited about this. Plus it was really nice that it was a quick and easy project. Sometimes you just really need that when you've got a lot of other projects going on, which I do right now, and particularly large projects. So again, here it is. So pretty. So once you finish yours, we would love to see it. So don't forget to go over to the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Facebook group. Post your finishing pictures because we definitely love seeing your finish. And eventually I will get this quilted and I will show it to you as well. Also stay tuned at the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Facebook group for the announcement of the next sew along, which I don't know exactly when it's going to start, but it should be within a few weeks or pretty soon. So I know that you guys are always excited and on the lookout for the next project, and so am I. So I can't wait to see what that is. And if you stay in tune with the Facebook group, you'll know sooner than anyone else. But if you're not on Facebook, because I know there's some people who aren't, and that's okay, you can just bookmark Fort Worth Fabric Studio's website where the digital pattern downloads are, and as soon as the next sew along is announced, they'll put up the little banner for the next one and you'll be able to see what it is there. And don't forget that their kits sell out, or they've been selling out within a few hours. So if you're one of those who loves to get their kits to support them for giving us all these free patterns, make sure that you are there paying attention to the group, paying attention to their website within the next few weeks. And as soon as I know, I will let you guys know. But a lot of times I don't know until they've already put the kit up and it's already sold out. So just pay attention to that if you want to get the next kit. It's a great way to support them for giving us all these free patterns, because they don't have to do that. And I think that's really awesome that they, even if you don't buy something from them, you can download them and use your stash and sew along anyway. So thank you to everybody who has been buying the kits and selling them out for them so they can keep providing patterns for the rest of us. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for sewing along with me, and I hope to see you really soon, and I hope to see your finishes over on the Facebook group. And the link to that is down in the description box below if you're not already a member. So come on over and join. I'll see you soon. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.